What's up, guys, and welcome to this segment of Pinckney's Prospects. I'm Billy Pinckney, and today we're joined by Miami Marlin Alex Vesia. Alex, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Billy. Thank you. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Now, you attended California State University. You want to talk about the experience that you had playing there?
Yeah, yeah. It was my. So I went to Cal State East Bay, and I spent 4 years there. It was my only scholarship offer. Um, I wanted to kind of get out of my small town that I'm from, and kind of just witness college, be on my own, kind of make decisions on my own and stuff. My parents were like, this is a great opportunity for you. Don't let it, pass by. So I attended there for 4 years. I had a lot of fun. I definitely grew a bunch. You know what I mean? My freshman year, we had 8 dudes in a dorm in this big dorm thing, and we had fun. It was cool. It was fun to be out on my own. And then the baseball program. I got my butt kicked for 4 years because it's a grind. You know what I mean? Every day you got practice, and then you got one game on Friday, 2 games on Saturday, and a game on Sunday. And whether you're traveling, 8 hours on a bus or you got your homestand for that weekend, but I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I was drafted in the 17th round in 2018. I was a senior sign, and I told every scout, I said all I wanted was the opportunity to play, professional baseball, and I'll take it from there.
Right.
So,
How exciting was that call that you actually got drafted?
ah, oh man, that it was amazing because I had my freshman year, I had got it was called Freshman of the Year, and I had the best stats, and I had a good year, so I had earned that award. And then at the very end of the year, my coach, he had come up to me. We had a meeting end of the year, and he goes, "I don't want you to play summer ball." He goes, "I want you to get stronger in the weight room and rest your arm and be ready, for your sophomore year." He goes, "If you can touch 90 miles an hour," he goes, "you'll get drafted." And at that point, I'd never really thought about getting drafted, kind of until then, and because no one really had ever told me that was possible. I was a lefty in high school, throwing 82. And my freshman year, I think I had touched 86. The end of my sophomore year is when I had touched 90 for the first time. And then my junior year, I was like, 90, 91. And then my senior year, I touched 94 once.
Right.
It was a hot day, and I was feeling good.
Now, throughout your
So,
minor league career, you've been absolutely dominant. Was it tough to make
yeah.
that transition into pro ball because your numbers make it look like it was a pretty easy transition?
Um, so I have it's like a small experience that helped me kind of transition from Division II baseball, right? Cal State East Bay is Division II. They're not a big powerhouse D1. So that was kind of my thoughts when I got drafted. I said, okay, how far behind am I from all these D1 guys?
Yeah.
D1 is supposed to be cream of the crop, all that stuff. So it took me 2 weeks to get cleared to play. I had to do 2 MRIs and two on my shoulder and 2 on my elbow. That's just all protocol stuff. And it took about 2 weeks to get all that testing done. So I got to watch all of the draft guys who had just been drafted in 2018. They were already playing. My school got out a couple weeks later, so I was a little bit behind. But in reality, I think it helped me watch these guys play and go, I can play with them.
Yeah.
And then I got out there, and I had pitched my first little inning in rookie ball, and I was like, I belong here, and that's kind of what I've told myself every step of the way. And then in 2019, my agent had kind of told me, he goes, the Marlins have a really good system. You know, they're not afraid to pull guys up, and you know, he's like, you just better be ready to perform with every opportunity that they give you. So I got pulled up after the All-Star break. I got pulled up from low A to high A, and that was awesome. And then after a month of being in high A, they pulled me up to double A. That's where I met Vinny. And you know, I just kind of kept it rolling from there. Nothing really changed other than I'm with a new team. I get to meet a couple new teammates, and I still got to put up zeros when I go out there. It doesn't matter what inning, you know, 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning. I'm just going to pass that torch to the next guy, you know. So that's, you know, I try to keep it as simple as I can, just because baseball can be pretty complex at sometimes. So
Right. It's interesting too, because with the MLB draft, you know, you're a guy who went to a D2 school, drafted in the 17th round. Now, if you were looking to get drafted this year, this past year in 2020, that would have been tough. I mean,
man, when I saw that, man, because I have a couple friends who are seniors,
right.
You know, and I'm rooting for them, you know, and yeah, it's a little devastating, you know. I definitely feel for those guys, and yeah, I mean, if that happened in 2018, I wouldn't have gotten drafted. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I'm definitely very thankful I got drafted when I did. But on the other hand, I do think that independent ball has definitely gotten a lot better reputation after this year. I mean, a lot of people are going to go and play, and that competition is going to be awesome. So, yeah, I definitely think that there are other options to go, especially for guys like myself who were senior signs and looking to still play and stuff, because it's possible. You know what I mean? Just because you're a senior sign doesn't mean that, you know, you can't get better and develop and become a major league pitcher. So.
Right. And with these partnerships too, with the independent leagues and these other, you know, college prospect type leagues, I think, you know, the MLB and scouts are really going to be putting you know, more of a focus on those leagues as ones to go to and really keep an eye on for players, and kind of like a theater system like that. Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of solid players who play indie ball, you know, me with being a part of the Jackals and really being around those guys. I don't see a difference in those guys compared to AA guys at sometimes. Right. And, you know, it's tough to sometimes see guys not get the opportunity that they deserve. And but I think with this partnership and how the new structure with MLB and their affiliates, hopefully you know, we find a way to get those players the right exposure that they need. So we'll see what happens.
I agree, man, especially with all the cuts that had happened, you know, with this past year and everything, and you know, guys have had, what is it, like 18 months to develop, you know, and you're really going to see the guys who have put in the work and the guys who haven't. So the guys that are putting in the work and are getting better and you know, just taking the right steps forward, it's going to show. And I'm, you know, right, like kind of like what you said, I'm hoping that they get that opportunity because it's special. You know what I mean? I take a lot of pride in it. So,
yeah. Now going back to you, you know, you played in 2019. The Marlins sent you to the Arizona Fall League. Tons of great prospects are sent to that league in the fall, and it looks like you also did really well there. What was that experience? You know, being a really unique experience, being part of that group of guys.
Yeah, man. That when I got invited, it was actually brought up to me probably about 2 weeks or 3 weeks prior to the season ending, and I kind of was like, what is that? Because I had never, you know, I'd only been in the minor leagues for a year, so I was still learning a whole bunch of new things. And our bullpen coach had mentioned, he's like, oh, how are you feeling? And I was like, I feel great. And he goes, would you play in the Arizona Fall League? And I was like, what is that? And that's where he told me, he's like, oh, there's, you know, all the top prospects go, and this is, you know, he said some stat about a certain percentage of guys who play in the Arizona Fall League end up making it to the MLB, and I was like, yeah, let me go to that.
Yeah.
And when I got pulled into the coach's office, and they told me that the Marlins wanted me to go and everything, I was ecstatic. It was special because it was going to be the first time my parents were going to see me play minor league ball. Arizona is only a 5-hour drive, from San Diego. So going out to Florida, that's a little bit more expensive, but that was super cool. I had family, I had friends that came out, and then obviously the players, you know what I mean.
Right.
Dudes pumping 100, guys hitting absolute tanks. That was super cool. I was definitely very thankful. I learned a bunch, and the coaching staff that we had on the Salt River Rafters were amazing. I definitely felt ready to go going into the 2020 season. Obviously things got a little jumbled up, but it definitely, that stepping stone for me gave me a lot of confidence, that I was ready and prepared to take it to the next level. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're a left-handed reliever. Would you be able to show us the pitches that you throw and the grips?
Yeah. So I'm a four-seam guy. I hold it, pretty similar to standard four-seam grip. I like to tuck my thumb just right underneath where the seam goes. I have like a callus built up from there because just hundreds of throws and stuff. But yeah, super standard. My secondary is just a changeup. It's I think they call it like a Vulcan changeup or something. I don't really know, but I had it originally on the top of the seams, but then I push it back, so I move the seams kind of down, so I'm on the horseshoe part, and it was just a better feel for me. I had a lot more control with it, and there's a lot of different cues that I like to do when I'm throwing it, making sure that my arm speed stays the same. Because some guys tend to like slow down the ball.
Right.
But a hitter, especially AA, Fall League, and MLB, they pick up on any little detail. Yeah. So making sure that your arm speed's the same as the fastball, that's very key. And then I throw it's my slider. I don't really know if it's regular grip or not, but this is the one that feels most comfortable for me. I'm kind of across the seams, and I grip it, rip it. I don't really. I want this thing to be hard. I want it to look like a fastball, and then at the very end, just dive off. I like it to be, kind of at a 45-degree angle. Sometimes it's a cutter. Okay. I don't really mind that because my fastball has some good ride to it. So if it's 30, 45-degree angle, I'm cool with it as long as it's not straight. If it's straight, it's gonna hit. So.
Now, last season, you had the opportunity to get a few innings in at the major league level. Can you talk about the experience that you had pitching the big league so far and some things that you were able to learn?
Yeah. I mean, I went into the 2020 spring training, with the goal is to break with the MLB team, and obviously everything got shut down. We went home. I was fully invested. I ended up buying a whole bunch of gym equipment, got the squat rack, got the, your hex bar, trap bar, and bought some weights and stuff. And, I basically told my parents, I said, this is like, I'm so close. I'm not just going to sit on the couch and just watch it go by. I've worked so hard for this. And my parents, they were, okay, Alex, go ahead. They didn't question it at all because, they want to see me succeed just as much as I want to succeed. So ended up getting back into spring training 2.0 and kind of left off right where I was at. I was throwing the ball pretty well. And then we went to Atlanta for the exhibition game, and I pitched and stuff and got one inning there. And then it was the day before, we had opened up with Philly. and the whole coaching staff and head personnel, they had brought me into the office, and Mike Hill goes, "Hey, where'd you start in 2019?" And I was like, "Low A." He goes, "Where'd you finish?" And I was like, Double A, and then I went to the Arizona Fall League. He goes, "Where are you right now?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm fighting for a spot on the major league team." And he goes, "No, you're not. You're on the major league team." And I lost it, man.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. It was, that was super cool, and
Right.
they congratulated me. I signed my MLB contract and stuff, and then I went and took a shower and got dressed because we were leaving on that night to go to Philly. And then one of our media guys, he goes, "Hey, come here. Someone wants to talk to you." And he turns around his iPad, and it's my family, my mom, my dad, my sister.
Wow.
And they're crying and stuff. And they're like, "What do you got to tell us?" And I lost it, dude. That was, man, that's such a surreal moment for me, because it's not just like my accomplishment. I feel like they've been behind me since day one. You know what I mean? I have people in my circle that they've been behind me. They support me. They understand. And it was for all of them, and my only wish was that they could have been there for my debut. You know what I mean? That was the only thing that was missing. And I completely understand the circumstances and all that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to the 2021 season, so we can celebrate that, them watch me, pitch in the MLB, because as a, little kid, I've always, said that you always want to be a Major League Baseball player. That's the coolest thing. So for me to accomplish that and throw my first inning, they called me in the bullpen and, "Hey, Alex, get hot." And I go, "Oh, who am I facing? Who's my first batter?" And it was Didi Gregorius. I was like, I watched that dude on the Yankees for how many years, and now I get to face him. I was like, that was, a surreal moment. That was something that was really cool for me. So
That's awesome.
I love it, and I'm super motivated to just for this upcoming season, because I made my major league debut. 2 days later, I ended up tested positive for coronavirus, and which was a tough situation, and we had to handle that and everything. And obviously faced some adversity, but that's in the past. I learned a whole bunch. Just being a part of the team, man, was great. Miggy and some of the other veteran guys, they helped me out. I asked some questions and just got to learn how it works, because it's way different than the minor leagues, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, Didi was your first strikeout too, right?
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome. And there are also quite a few members of that team tested positive in one shot, right? It was kind of
it was a crazy
time.
Crazy time.
Yeah. Now another thing was, a lot of guys got called up this past season who didn't play in AAA, and coming up from sometimes high A or double A without touching either double A or AAA. What are your thoughts on that? And do you think that in the future teams will maybe not rush guys, but send them through the system a little bit faster and not, have them spend as much time in double A and AAA?
I mean, it's a possibility. You know what I mean? I think, the Marlins, they do a great job of developing guys. Especially with myself, we sat down and there, I had a spreadsheet of, all the green stuff, all the red stuff. Okay, this is what you do good. This is what you need to work on. Okay, I understand, and I believe that all the guys that we had got called up and stuff, that they were 100% confident that they could get the job done at the major league level. And that kind of stat line of only been in low A or only in high, it's still really good competition. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think that this year it was a little different, and this upcoming season, there's a lot of prospects that are, knocking on the door. and it'll be interesting to see how they do and how they, go about that situation. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the middle. I don't really know. I think the Marlins definitely believe in their guys, and we work hard, so it's good.
Yeah. Now the Marlins kind of have sort of this youth movement in their organization. Being a part of that, how exciting is it for you to be around those group of guys?
Yeah, yeah, we do. We got a lot of young dudes, man.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that when I pitched, looking behind me, it's like I felt really comfortable because like Lewin and Jazz and a couple other guys, they were with me in Double A. Like
Right.
I got brought up to Double A and they were already there.
Hmm.
And I got to get to know them, and so we had already had some past history playing in Double A, and then I look in front of me and it's the same game. I know that those guys are going to make some great plays for me. I got to make pitches, so like that little confidence goes a long way, and being with the young guys. Yeah, we got brought up, some guys are faster than others, obviously, but it doesn't really take that long to mesh with teammates, especially like, who do you know? Or I know this guy. Oh yeah, that dude's great. Well, it's just like
Right.
the community. Baseball's such a small world. It's crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure that chemistry really helps, having that in Double A, and then, having that
Yeah.
also in the big league at the big league level. It's nice because, the guy behind you will make that play. That they'll get the job done. You're confident in them. It's not like, you're just coming up here and you don't really know much about these other guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's like the other side of like, I look behind me and we got Corey Dickerson in the outfield. You got Monte in the outfield. All these other guys that like they've had really good careers. They're super solid as well. So that as long as you make your pitch, you got good defense behind you, which is nice.
Right. Now, being a Yankees fan for me, it's cool to see what the former Yankees and Jeter and Mattingly, among others, are doing with the organization. And in recent years, how do you feel the Marlins have set themselves apart from other organizations in terms of how they operate?
Good question. I think, you got the captain coming in and taking charge of things, which, I mean, we've had some really good meetings. You know what I mean? He expects us to perform. The coaching staff and everything, they give us all the information that we need, and they're more than welcome to help us out, and they want us to ask questions, they want us to learn, and they want us to be prepared. So I think that with everything that the Marlins are doing, I think it showed the most this year, right? You have 18 plus dudes go down, you bring up your prospects and stuff, you still were winning, and we clinch a playoff that we haven't done in 17 years. Like, just that alone speaks so much volumes of just what they've done in the last 2-3 years, at least since 2018. So I definitely think with these, 2021, 22, and 23, I think we'll be really, really good. I definitely think that we should contend, and we hold ourselves to that high standard. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
We expect ourselves to go out and compete with any team. So that's kind of the attitude and the mentality that, Jeter and those guys, they want us to win. So.
Right. Now, when you look at, say, 2021 and in the future, what is it that you look forward to the most?
Just getting back out there and playing in front of some fans.
Right.
Oh man, that was, I love the crowd and the cheers and stuff like that. What was it? It's been 2-3 months and I'm already like, all right, like, get me back out there. I like being around the guys and working and just having that goal of winning. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, is getting back out there and kind of just getting in my groove and getting to strike some people out and win ball games. I love that. Celebrating after the game or dancing in the clubhouse, like that's what it's all about. We have fun with it.
Oh yeah. Now, throughout your baseball journey, who have been some figures who have influenced your game along the way?
Oh, number one would be CC Sabathia. That dude, man, I've looked up to him for quite a while.
Right.
He's man, just a good pitcher. You know what I mean? I like the way he carries himself. And other guys like David Price or Andy Pettit. Those guys that have kind of tailored my pitching style from them. Kind of Andy Pettit with being just the dude that people look at him and they're like, oh my gosh, this dude's kind of scary, because you want to have that presence,
Right.
So yeah, guys like that. I mean, obviously I've looked up to Derek Jeter. Even though I'm left-handed, I still did the Derek Jeter throw. That's something that is like iconic. In the baseball field, you see one kid do it at practice at least. So yeah, those guys and stuff. And then obviously, like, I look at myself in the mirror and just try to figure out what I need to get better at. Obviously, there's people that you can take little tips from here and there. There's some like drive line or tread athletics. Those are places where I seek for their guidance or advice or little videos, and like, oh, I'm gonna try that tomorrow. I mean, because I'm always trying to learn something new or to take my game to the next level.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now, in a few sentences, how would you describe your game and yourself as a player?
Oh, I got it right here. Just a man on a mission. That's my thing. That's been something that I take pride in. You know what I mean? I have, I told like my parents after my freshman year, I told them, I was like, I'm going to get drafted. That's my goal. And that's been everything to me. I've always been on a mission to accomplish that, and it's, you got to make a lot of sacrifices. You know what I mean? That it's training and making sure your nutrition's right, your body's recovering and everything. And I try to take that as seriously as I can. Right. But yeah, that's definitely it, man. It's just a man on a mission. I think I've had that for 4 or 5 years now. So yeah, that's it for sure.
Awesome. And the last question I want to ask you today is, what advice you would give to younger prospects, whether in high school or college, who might be going through that process of recruitment or getting drafted?
Shoot. I love that question, honestly, because, there's a bunch of different ways you can go about it, right? Because everybody has their own journey. Right. Like when you talk to people in the baseball community, everybody's journey is different. There's nobody that's done it the same way. Yeah. Whether you're coming from high school, whether you're coming from college, whether you go to, junior college and get drafted, or you get picked up out of the indie ball, my best advice is, you're working hard, you're doing everything that you possibly can, you know what I mean, day in and day out, and you got to believe in yourself. You know what I mean? When you're up on the mound or, you're taking ground balls or hitting, right? Like, you got to believe in yourself. That's like my best and best advice is to believe in yourself and know that, you're doing absolutely everything you can to be the best that you can be. And that's kind of, how I view all my work and stuff. I want to go up on the mound, and I want to have no doubts that I didn't train as hard as I could. I didn't run as fast as I could. I didn't throw the ball as hard as I could. Because when I get up there, it's me against the hitter, and I'm getting you out. You know what I mean? And that's where you start to build that confidence. And you just got to believe in yourself. That's kind of my thing. So.
Awesome, Alex. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, man.
For sure. All you guys watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on Pinckney's Prospects.